You hear sayings like this: follow your heart, be led by your heart. Hey, the heart is free, so go and follow it, right? Or maybe like after a basketball game or a football game, they would say, hey, he gave it all of his heart. Or back where I'm from, like if you get into a fight and maybe like a smaller guy fights a larger guy, they'll say, man, he has a lot of heart. And we say these statements because we believe that maybe there's something in the heart that could have intrinsic value, that could be redemptive, or that could be inherently good. But I would like to beg this notion and really open your mind about the significance of the heart. And what does the Bible say about the heart? The Bible actually says that the heart in Jeremiah chapter 17 verse 9 is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? Right? Like, who can know the heart? But then it says in Jeremiah 17 verse 10, it says, I, the Lord, search the heart. So only God can really know the heart. The heart is the seat of the affections. The heart governs our motives, governs our values. The heart. Like, what is the heart all about? I remember I lost some steering fluid out of my car. And so if you know anything about when you lose steering fluid, it's difficult to drive with the steering wheels. Like, you tug, you pull. It's so difficult, you know. And and our heart is kind of like this. Like, we want to navigate our heart. We want our heart to do good things. And it's like we're tugging, we're pulling to try to do the right things. But what ends up happening with that steering wheel is that once you let the steering wheel go, it actually goes back in its neutral position. It goes back. You know, it goes back to its bent. And it's the same way like us. Maybe we want to try to modify ourselves and we're like trying to do the best we can and we just get tired, we get exhausted, and then we go back to our neutral position. We go back to our bent. Because we cannot control the heart. The heart wants what it wants. And guess what? When it speaks about how our heart is deceitfully and desperately wicked, it causes us, it manipulates us to sin. It says, yeah, it's okay to go and reach out to that old friend who likes to use and abuse drugs. Like, it's okay to reach out to that girl or that guy where there was that toxic relationship. Like, it's okay to go and smoke or to drink or to party and do these different things. Like, it's okay. Like, you know, like our hearts deceive us. Like we think it's good on the surface, and our hearts convince us to try to justify the bad things. It's okay to clock in extra for work and to steal a couple hours or to leave early and nobody would know, right? You know, our hearts can justify these things. But it's interesting, like the remedy for our heart. Paul knew there was an inward conflict in his own heart. It speaks about that in Romans chapter 7. He said, the things that I will to do, those are the things that I don't. The things that I will not to do, those are the things that I practice. Like this inward conflict, right? He even said in Romans chapter 7 verse 18, it says, for I know that in me, that is, in my flesh, nothing good dwells. For the will is present with me, but how to perform what is good, I do not find. Like, we all have this struggle, you know. We all have this mental attitude to want to do the right thing, but yet the wrong thing is always present. You know, the wrong thing is always present. And God's solution is actually not for you to try to tug and pull, to wrestle with your heart, but no, but for your heart to be crucified, your heart to be put to death. And Jesus, over 2,000 years ago, he came to actually crucify your flesh. He actually said that he wanted to give us a new heart in the book of Ezekiel, you know, a brand new heart, one that is inherently good. The old one isn't. The old one is bent to do what the old one wants to do, right? To live in, you know, to the rudiments of this world, the precepts of this world. But the new heart is actually a God consciousness. It's a way where I can think with God, I can hear from God, and I can live my life before God. No longer do I have to live in the old heart, but I can operate in the new. And God gives us that new heart by the Holy Spirit that corrects us, that reproves us, that guides us, that comforts us when we need it, that gives us peace, right? That's able to understand His Word, in a clear, precise way. This all stems from the new heart. So be tapped in, be locked in, and engage in a new heart. All right. God bless you.